Alright, this is to get you going on the cards assignment and give a little explanation of slicing. We want to talk a little more about lists. So first thing I'm going to do is highlight the code that's provided in the assignment. Open up Python and paste it. Okay, I just paused it and saved it to my OneDrive. You can see up here it's saved to my OneDrive. Anyway, I am going to shorten this list down instead of it being a full deck, because for the example that I'm going to show you, let's see, I just want to make this, I'll just make it 4 cards here. 1 comma there. Alright, so we got 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 3 spades, 3 diamonds. Okay, so we got some 2 2s and 2 3s. And then to close out the list, I have to have another square bracket. So I'm going to make mine just a deck of 4 cards, just for sake of showing this example. And then I want to go ahead and print the entire list. So let's go ahead and run it. Hit F5. And you can ignore all this typing up there. That's just because that's just the explanation, right, of these 2 print lines. I'll just leave that. But anyway, so here's what it says. Actually, for my demonstration, I'm going to get rid of that just to make it there, much cleaner. But you can see that when I just ran it, it printed the 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 3 spades, 3 diamonds. So it printed it in the same order that it was. And it printed the entire list. There are 4 items in this list. This is considered 1 item. Anything inside the brackets there. 2, 3, 4 items. However, each item has its own set of 3 items. So it's 1, 2, 3. And that's what I wanted to talk about, how you can have lists nested inside of lists. And we could just keep going as long as you have brackets. You could have, just nest as deep as you want. But in this case, we've got each card contains 3 listed items within a larger list of 4 items. And let me just shuffle this. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to do a, oops, it's got to be random. Dot shuffle cards. And then we're going to hit F5, run this guy. And so now you can see that it's randomizing the order. So now it's 2 of hearts, 3 of diamonds, 3 of spades, 3 of clubs. Okay. Now let's talk about the randomizing. Excuse me, the slicing. So I'm going to close this real quick. Let's slice the first card off the deck after it's shuffled. So instead of printing the entire deck, which in my case is only 4, we're going to slice just the first item. You might be saying, why is he typing in a 0? Let's run it. I'll show you. 3 of spades is what it came up this time. Let's hit F5, run it again. This time it's 2 of clubs, 3 of diamonds. So if I just kept going, it's just going to randomize. First it shuffles it, and then I'm slicing the very first item. Now if I print cards 0, and I can prove this. Put this one to a 1. This one to a 2, and this one to a 3. Then I run it F5, and there we are. It prints all of them. Oops, I was trying to do that to this guy. Prints all of them. Now what if I were to do this to the 4th? Hit F5. And it prints them, and then for that last command it says, you can't slice that 4th item. Because really it's the 5th item. We're out of the range. Because computers always start counting at 0. So this would be the first item, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And it won't let us slice the last because there's nothing else after that. There's not a 5th item. Alright, just want to point something else out before I let you guys go work. Alright, so rather than printing all of the cards, I am going to simply set a variable So here we are, next card. I called my variable next card equals cards 0. So I'm slicing that very first card. Then, now I could just print next card, and it would do exactly what we've been doing so far, but I'm just going to pound sign this, comment this out. So it has the same effect, it just prints the next card. The first card off the deck because I'm slicing the first one, and then I have it print that variable. What this next line does, I'm going to get rid of that. What this line does is it says, take that card and now slice it. Because it's 3 items, we only want that first item, whatever the number is out front. So that's the 0th item. And slice the 3rd item, which would be the suit, clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds. And what do I mean by that? Here I just pulled up a little diagram. So here we are. Here's a card, ace. It's an ace. The number assigned to it, or the value assigned, is 14, and then clubs. And here we are. These are the slicing operators. 0, 1, 2. So that's what we're doing here. We're taking 0, the first item, and we're taking the suit. So now when I run it, 3 of diamonds. See, it's worded nicely. If I run it again, 3 of spades. So I just want to make sure you guys are understanding how this slicing is working. First we sliced an item off the deck, which and that item, that's called that way, assigned name next card, is equal to 3 different items. And then we're slicing the first item out of those 3 items, and we're slicing the last item out of those 3 items. And that's why our code over here, our full code that's finished here, we assign x equal to 0 before we get into the loop. And then what we do is we slice the xth card. See, next card equals, and so what it's doing is it's just slicing the 0th, the very first thing off the top of the deck. And then notice I have an x plus equal 1. That's the same thing as saying x equals x plus 1. So it increments 1, or the x variable, every time we go through this loop. And then the next time through it's going to be x equals 1, and so now it slices the next card off the top of the deck. And then it prints it on the screen, and then it prints the next card. So if I run this, here's what the finished product should look like this. I have it print the entire deck. And the reason I do that is then I can test to see if it's working. When I hit enter, 9 of hearts. Was it the 9 of hearts? Yes. And now when I hit enter again, jack of clubs. Was that the second one? Yes, it was. So now I know it's working. It's slicing properly. That's the only reason I print this. And then once this is a working version, and I tested it and it's working, then I can go back and I can get rid of this. See, I wrote here, I said, this line is only for testing purposes. Delete it once your program is working. And how do you know your program works completely? What I'm going to have you guys do when you come into the meeting and you ask me to grade yours, I'm going to ask you to hold down your enter key until it gets to the end of the deck. How do you know it's the end of the deck? All 52 cards have been sliced. And it says that's the end of the deck. Press enter to exit this program. And that's why we have these if statement and else statement right down here. If x equals 52, play equals stop, and it kicks us out of the loop. All right. That's it for this one.